making his way to the ring from the Nick Stone Gym, the Bulldog Gym in New South Wales, it's Mick Neelan. Can Mick Neelan make it 2 of 2 for the New South Welshman? A very hard task indeed, going up against the Dragon, Paul Lee. Mick Neelan, and again, stepping over the top ropes, the Muay Thai stylist, the traditional Mongkon of the Muay Thai fighter, and the flowers, the lucky charms around the neck hammer, Mick Neelan for the Bulldog Gym.
Well, they're all charms, Michael, and of course in Muay Thai boxing, you always step over the ropes. Never go through the ropes. That's bad luck. That's taboo. You've got to go over the ropes.
What about if you're like me and you roll under the ropes?
You roll under the ropes. Well, then you should be in WWF because they love doing that sort of stuff. But yes, of course, the boys from the Bulldog Gym stick solidly to the traditions.
His way to the ring from the Melbourne Martial Arts Centre, being led by trainer Nick Carra. They call him the Dragon, Paul Lee. Hammer, you talk about terrier-like fighters. You talk about fighters who just keep going, just like the battery ad, the rabbit in the commercial, and you talk about the Dragon, Paul Lee.
Well, Michael, more anecdotes I've never heard from you in one go, one sentence, but Paul Lee is a fighter that never takes a backward step. He pushes forward all the way, has a lot of heart, and he's one of the finest from Melbourne Martial Arts, is Paul Lee.
Let's go across the ring and now to RDK.
A super welterweight contest set for 4 3-minute rounds, brought to you by Slaney Automotive. Fighting out of the blue corner, he fights out of the Stuart McKinnon Bulldog Gym in New South Wales, weighing in at 68.15 kilos, Mick Neelan. Out of the red corner, he trains under Nick Carra at the Melbourne Martial Arts Centre. Last night weighed in at 68.8 kilos. They call him the Dragon, Paul Lee.
Third man it's entering, referee Graham Waddell, about to get us underway. The last minute instructions for the Dragon, Paul Lee and Mick Neelan from New South Wales.
Hey guys, I'll explain the rules to you. So you come out and touch gloves and start the first round and the final round. Good luck.
Well, so far on the scorecard, it is Chris Atkinson with the win for Team Bulldog, for Team New South Wales, 1-0. Can Mick Neelan make it 2-0 for the New South Welshman, Hammer, or will Paul Lee pull one back?
Well, Michael Neelan is certainly one of the finest from up north. He's been around for a while, campaigned a lot, Michael Neelan, in Sydney, but Paul Lee, likewise, down in Melbourne, and we've seen him a number of times on Fox Sports. He's one solid campaigner.
We're about to get underway in the first round of action. This one here is set for 4. And it's 4 threes. Nice right hand there by Neelan. This one, of course, under modified Thai rules, knees and no elbows. Nice left knee there from Mick Neelan to the right ribcage of Paul Lee. Lee just got him tied up against the ropes now.
Well, Neelan working solidly with knees. The judge is going to have to be right on their game here to catch all these knee strikes and see what's hitting and what's not.
Paul Lee will want to keep his distance and try and work his hands and leg kicks more. Neelan's going to want to tie him up. Very good Muay Thai gym in New South Wales. Unfortunately, the sport of Muay Thai not permitted in New South Wales, which makes a little bit of a hindrance for the guys from the Bulldog Gym, Hammer.
For the guys from the Bulldog Gym to keep busy, but I'm sure they let it go in the sparring. Government can't control that.
Graham Waddell keeping a close eye on proceedings. Nice right knee to the sternum there from Paul Lee. Then trades one off the left. Inside fine knee from Lee. Neelan's got him all tied up. The Thai grapple locked around the back of the neck, and Lee just shrugs him off. High right round kick, right hand combination there from Neelan. Nice combo it was. Lee lets fly with a looping right hook. Nice through to the midsection there by Mick Neelan.
Well, nice setup combination there from Neelan. Hands tied Paul Lee up, went straight with the knee underneath.
Neelan just sizing him up. Paul Lee, centre of the ring, high right round kick. Neelan was well guarded up against it. Just says, no, you can't hit me with that one, Dragon. So Paul Lee goes downstairs again. Neelan just snaking the hands around the back of the neck and tying up the shorter Paul Lee. Succession of knees off the left leg there from Mick Neelan. Lee just turns him around the neutral corner. Nice left knee to the mid there from Paul Lee.
You see those knees down low too, Michael. They're going to batter up those thighs.
Those real corking knees, Hammer.
The corking knees, they don't look as spectacular as a lot of other technique, but I tell you what, you get someone to knee you in the thigh from in close with that much force, and you'll certainly be feeling it for the next week or so.
I'll pass, but thank you very much.
I'm offering it. Once only offer for you. I'll give you 3 for the price of 1. How's that?
High right round kick there from the Dragon, Paul Lee. Don't forget later on we will see a fight under full tyre rules when world champion Scotty the Cannon Bennett takes on Danny Maskashev. But at the moment it's Paul Lee of Victoria against Mick Neeland of New South Wales. Neeland again forcing Lee back against the ropes. Lee just turns him around the blue corner.
The boys really chambering up on those knee strikes down low and just clashing him in with knees into the thighs, into the lower body rather.
Hammer, what a great Thai fight. I haven't seen this many knees in Melbourne for quite a long time.
Well, certainly they're working the skills well. As I said, it may visually not look as devastating as, say, a big right hand, but I tell you what, a succession of knees into your legs and your body certainly can take their toll.
A very good aggressive round, this one by both fighters. Paul Lee moving forward on Neeland again. Sticks out the defensive front kick, does Neeland. Lee guards up against the high right round kick. Neeland times him up right in front of our commentary position. And there's the end of the first round of action, Hammer. As we go to the towels, how do you see it?
Well, what an explosive first round. Neeland worked some good in-close knee strikes. It was very, very even, that one. I'd be possibly leaning a little towards the way of the blue corner. Paul Lee sort of got caught with a couple of strong knees down low, but he did get a few away as well. He worked better at range, Paul Lee, but I think Neeland, if the judges are going to score the knee strikes correctly, should just be edging ahead.
When he's grappling, his knee that side, just get the point in there, that's all right. Remember, you've got to do that too. Knee the body, straight away, knee the body, don't stay on front, right? Hand on front. Yeah, I'm also listening. When he's also looking at grappling, slightly back a bit, so he's open for the front knee, so you get in there, bang! Get him with the right knee, settle. Settle, don't just try and win both ways. Tell. Take breaths. We're going to win our tiring, mate. We're going to get him, okay? Win our tiring, we're going to get him. Oh, just tighten up. Body, mate. Work the body. Work the body. Yes. Work the body. Let you tighten up with those hands. Okay? Tighten up with those hands. Okay? We're going to push kicks. We're going to do whatever we're going to do. You know those things, right? When you're in there with the knees, the legs too, like there's movement to you, this and that. So you have to be like, you're stronger than this boy, man. You're stronger than this, and you're fitter. I guarantee I'm saying that. You're doing this fucking thing. Okay? You need to know. He needs one, you need fucking 6 weeks on. First legs, no problem. Yeah, no. Okay? Three under. Okay? Set it up, don't just straight away and kick straight up like that, right? Okay? Don't just go straight up like that. I want you to set it up and concentrate there. Okay?
Brute force girl.
Round 2.
Look to your right, Abby. Look down and to your right. That's where you want to be looking. Oh, yeah, brute force.
We are ready to roll in the second round of action. This one's scheduled for 4. Paul Lee against Mick Neeland. It is 1-0 so far in the Civil War battle. 1-0 to New South Wales after Chris Atkinson put the lights out on Scotty Forbes. Can Paul Lee pull one back here for Team Victoria against Mick Neeland, Hammer?
Well, Paul Lee with the brute force shorts on. Brute force, of course, is that new energy drink that has been heavily promoted. But Paul Lee stalking forward. I think he's going to step up the pace a little in the second round, but so is Neeland. Look at that chopping leg kick, stepping right across Michael and drilling that leg kick, Neeland now. Lee nicely checking it out, and again, Paul Lee straight into the grapple.
Well, you get the feeling this one here could get a little bit wild in centering. And speaking of wild, how's the Wet and Wild calendar going, Hammer? All the finest swimsuit models in Australia.
The finest swimsuit calendar girls in the Wet and Wild calendar, of course, and also the No Limits calendar. That's another one we're putting out. But hello to all the girls in the Wet and Wild.
Available at newsagents Australia-wide. At the moment, Mick Neeland sweeping with a big leg kick to the outside left thigh. Lee stalking forward yet again. A good even second round so far, this one. They haven't tied up as much as they did in the first round, electing more to kickbox at the opening of this round. Nice glancing right hand there by Paul Lee. Neeland sticks out the left hand. High right round kick there from the Dragon, Paul Lee. A trade of rib kicks by both men. And you can see the reddened left rib cage of Paul Lee and the left rib cage of Mick Neeland sustaining a lot of punishment from those kicks and the knees, Hammer.
They have certainly taken a lot of contact with knee strikes.
Big overhand right left hand combination there by Mick Neeland, caught Paul Lee. Inside thigh kick there from Nealon. Lee's right hand fell short of the target. High left round kick by Paul Lee.
Both fighters now opting not to tie up and grapple as much as they did in the first round. Obviously, the corners may be feeling that in the grappling, no fighter is really taking a strong advantage, so they've opted to go for a bit of a different game plan.
Comments from the former Australian Cruiserweight Muay Thai champion, the Hammer, Mark Castanini, ringside with myself, Michael Chavello, and a great crowd on hand here at the Keilor Basketball Stadium, brought to you by Johnny Sheeter and Paul DeMacaulay of Ultimate Promotions. Oh, nice short right hand there by Paul Lee, just twisting the head of Mick Nealon in close, and Nealon ties him up. And I actually have to say a big thank you to Paul DeMacaulay, Hammer, because going back in the old memory banks, he was the man that got the voice behind the violence started in the kickboxing commentary game.
Well, that's correct. Paul DeMacaulay and Ultimate Promotions showing you the way.
At the moment, neither man really showing the way in centering. I'd say a very even battle so far, Hammer.
It is a very even battle. Both fighters, it's almost a game of chess. They're trying to pull off a move that is going to break through for them, but they're solid in defence as in attack, both of these boys, and what a great matchup.
Paul Lee just twisting around Mick Nealon. Nealon forcing him back against the ropes now. Oh, nice high knee there by Paul Lee. And there it is, into the second round of action. We're going to move into round number 3, Hammer.
Put your head down, mate. All I want to do is bang, bang, move, bang, bang, move, bang, bang, move, all right? Come here. Nick, got back, can't be right, okay? Yeah. What you got to do is you got to move. Just stay away from him, stay out of the clinch, move, okay? All right. Take my proper word for it. It's a nasty little cut, all right? I don't want to lose this on a cut. All right? Yeah. See, doing everything good, just try not to get too much of a clinch, okay? When you're making it knees and that, it's good. Wet your hands a little more, okay? No. And move. I'm just going to try and go for that cut all the time, Mick, so you've got to really get on your bike a little bit now. Lots of front kicks, okay, stay out of the clinch. Every time we see
once again, we see Michael Nealon just nailing the big overhand right and the short left uppercut. It was a great pickup from him, front kick coming in underneath. Paul Lee stalking forward, needs to close the gap on Nealon, because at range, Nealon was certainly picking his shots nice and sharp and clean. And both boys really finding it hard to crack through, but Nealon on this occasion is the one that has found the gap. Paul Lee almost hesitant in coming forward in his attacks, and when he does, Nealon is almost picking him off. There's a big right hand, Nealon weaving backward out of the way. Tidy defence from him, and there's those big wind-up knees into the thighs. I tell you what, they are certainly going to take their toll. That does cork up your leg and retard your movement quite substantially as the fight progresses.
Round 3.
We are ready to roll in round number 3. This one here under modified Thai rules. Paul Lee of Victoria and Mick Nealon of the Team Bulldog. And sitting ringside with us, the man who'll be fighting under full Thai rules in our main event tonight, Scotty the Cannon Bannon World Champion. How are you feeling, Scotty?
Oh, very good, mate. Good.
You're up against Danny Maskashev from the Victorian Bush. Maskashev very confident this week around Melbourne, saying he's going to knock out the world champion Scotty Bannon. How do you feel about that one?
Oh, mate, you have one loss and people jump out of trees to fight you.
Well, it's been a little bit of time since we've seen you, of course, against John Wayne Parr, a tragic loss, but you're back in the ring tonight. How do you feel, Scotty?
Good, mate. I just needed a good break. You know, I had a year off and I've had a little baby girl and got my house finished and everything, all the other stuff's out of my mind. You know, I can concentrate on what I'm supposed to be doing now.
Well, Mick Nealon really concentrating here in the third round against Paul Lee. The step-up side kicks and front kicks from Nealon. Lee moving in again and looking to tie up Nealon for the Thai grapple. Graham Waddell steps in and separates both men. Scotty, Ian Jacobs in the corner here tonight. He's come down to Melbourne with you, the powerhouse.
Yeah, he goes wherever I go now. It's good.
You've got to feel confident having Ian Jacobs in the corner, and Paul the Wall as well, also working the corner.
Yeah, Paul does all the hard yards, you know, smacks the pads every day and does the work. But Ian's just got such a good brain. He sees us everything before anyone else can usually see it.
Hammer, a huge mouth opened up. I'll call that one a rodent under the left eye of Mick Nealon.
Well, yeah, but Mick Nealon has been dominating this fight. You see him just pushing Paul Lee away, not wanting to get in to the knee striking. Nealon putting it all together in this round. He's landed some good solid shots on Lee's, working his hands and feet overlapping very, very well. Paul Lee probably being drawn to go after that mouse under the left eye of Nealon. Scotty, earlier you showed me the big chunk out of the knee there after that knee, Rico. How's the knee going to hold up in the main bout?
Yeah, it's good. I actually broke my kneecap before Wayne, and it's caused a few dramas, but it's good now. Like, they took it out. I've been getting a bang to train, and Paul Wall's been smacking it, and Ian's been kicking it, so I can't see Danny hurting it too much.
So you've got no problems with the leg checks and the knee strikes. It's all systems go.
Yeah, well, I haven't done a knee or leg check or run for over a year and a half now, so it's good to be able to do the whole capoodle with it.
A lot of punishment under the left eye so far from Mick Nealon from New South Wales. A good solid round for Paul Lee. Nealon just tapping out with the right hand. Both men sucking in the air here in the third stanza. We're set for 4. These modified Thai rules really sucking the energy out of both men. Inside thigh kick there from Paul Lee. Got tagged with a short left hand.
Looking at this one, Scotty, what do you think the game plan should be? Michael Nealon seems to be consolidating at range. Paul Lee having a little bit of bother getting in. But what do you think Paul should be working?
Yeah, I think Michael's got the upper hand. I think
Oh, the beautiful high right now kick there from Paul Lee. He tagged it. Sweat just flew off the brow of the New South Welshman Mick Nealon. I might have definitely there Scotty Bennett, but my word, that was an exciting technique.
Yeah, I think Paul's going to rush in like he's doing, like he's going to pressure him, because Michael's just a bit smarter and moving at the moment.
At any time, Scotty, feel free to just hit Michael when he starts out. Works for me.
Big leg kick here from Paul Lee. Nealon just fires out the front kick off the ropes. End of the third round of action. We got one more to go. World champion Scotty Bannon up against Danny Maskashev. Scotty, what do you know about Danny Maskashev? A boy from the bush. He's from the Jason Hawker stables here in Melbourne, or here in regional Victoria. What do you know about Maskashev? What can you tell us?
Pretty much everything you just said then. I don't really know anything about him. I wanted a warm-up fight to come back from the long break, and he stuck his hand up and wanted elbows, and he's been telling everyone he's going to knock me out. So, I don't know anything about him, mate. That's going to make it pretty more interesting.
What have you got coming up, Scotty? All going well with Danny here tonight. What have you got in the foreseeable near future?
I've got a boxing fight in 2 weeks' time on the Indy. I've got Ian and myself are fighting probably Russians on December 15. And Rob Murdoch's trying to get me a Dutch fight at a fight sometime. I'm not too sure when, but it's flat out to the end of the year, then probably 2 months off, then flat out next year.
Sure. And we'll just have a quick look at the replay here. Paul Lee stalking forward, but Michael Nealon at that range. There's that snappy front kick. As we just have a look at this, Scotty, we'll see Paul Lee just getting caught on the way in. He really needs to reassess his game plan. What would your advice be coming into this last round for Paul Lee?
Yeah, he's definitely behind on points from my looking, but Michael's just got his timing a bit better. He's just going to do that. He's going to come in hard and make Michael make a mistake. Otherwise, Michael's just find a bit too smart for him there. I'd love to do with the corner too. He's got a really awesome corner there with the McKinnon boys and Nick Stone. You've got a lot of experience behind you. It always helps.
Well, certainly the Bulldog gym, the strongest gym, I'd say, in Sydney, New South Wales. They're putting it all together when it comes to Thai style anyway. But Melbourne Martial Arts and Paul Lee, as I said, is a stalwart at that gym.
Yeah, I think Nick Carr and Stewie will be having a few little winks across the ring at each other. They're pretty good mates.
That's what I'm going to say here, Paul. Right, you're going to win, mate. You're going to win. You have to keep it. You have to do this round. You have to win this round.
And final round.
We are ready to get it on in round number 4. Both men will touch gloves and they'll come out smoking. Will Paul Lee be able to tie the score at 1-1, or will Mick Nealon from New South Wales make it 2-0 for the New South Welsh Brigade? We're underway, the 4th and final round, brought to you by Ultimate Promotions, coming at you from the Keilor Basketball Stadium, and a capacity crowd on hand. Fork right hand there by Paul Lee came agonisingly short. Mick Nealon, a little bit of fancy footwork to get out of dodge. Right hand of his own and a tag in left there from Nealon. A sweeping leg kick from Nealon. Nealon's eye, that left eye beginning to swell hammer. Maybe Paul Lee should go after it.
Well, he certainly will be looking at that and trying to land the right hand on it. But Nealon's smart, he's an experienced fighter, Michael. He's not going to make that job easy for Paul Lee. Paul Lee, I'd say this would be one of the toughest fights to date that Paul Lee has had. Michael Nealon has really got the smarts, and he's got the movement, and he's got the technique to really confound Paul Lee, who I'd say lacks a little bit of experience against someone like Mike Nealon.
Comments from the hammer Mark Castanini ringside with myself, Michael Chavello, and triple world champion Scotty the Cannon Bennett. Nealon just sizing up Paul Lee. Nice leg check by Nealon, then came off it with the right hand. Solid right hand again to the jaw there from Mick Nealon. Just moves out of the way of trouble. Oh, we're trying to wind up the crescent kick there was Nealon. Cracking down on the collarbone of Paul Lee. Lee falls short with the right hand. moving it to tie up Nealon again, but Nealon a little bit too quick for him, Scotty Bannon.
Yeah, there's not much grappling either. I think Nick's decided to stay away from him and just outbox him, outpoint him.
They've turned it into a kickboxing contest, Hammer.
Well, they're getting into the grapple only on limited occasions, and when they do, it's pretty even. So I think Mike Nealon's figured that at range is getting a lot more scoring shots in. Very clear scoring shots at that.
This heavily partisan crowd really rallying behind the local boy, Paul Lee. Lee moves in again, takes a leg kick to the inside right thigh. Nealon just ducks under the left hand.
It's tidy work from Paul Lee. Getting in, he works his knees very solidly, Paul Lee. In low, he's racking up the points in tight, but he's just having a bit of trouble closing up the gap and grappling up with Nealon.
While Nick Carra, an excellent Thai trainer, Hammer and Man, you spent some time with in Thailand.
Well, Carra actually cornered me in February for that last fight along with Johnny Skeeter, and I was always very appreciative of Nick's advice in the corner there with Johnny. Of course, that was invaluable in that little battle over there, having some friendly faces in an unfamiliar land. Always helps. Scotty, who would you like to fight, mate? Coming up, any locals, any Aussies around, any unfinished business that you'd like to do?
I was going to go into the Kelly C Super 8 next year at 72, but I weighed 76.5 for this. I just want to see how my weight goes. And the KO Super League seems interesting if it comes off. But it depends on Ian. If Ian goes in, I obviously can't go in it, so I'll just see what happens.
It's a bit of a conflict of interest there with the both of you in, but...
I'd definitely like to fight overseas. There's not much here, you know. Just respect to the other boys here. I just want to go overseas and fight some of the big names, some of the Dutch boys.
I think that's a pretty good game plan, mate. And overseas, and of course, importing some challenges is going to make a real good business on the Australian kickboxing scene.
Well, there it is, the end of the fourth and final round of action. What a grueling contest. Scotty Bannon will say thank you very much to you. We'll let you head back to the dressing rooms, and all the best of luck in the main event tonight against young gun Denny Maskachek.
Thanks, boys.
All the best, Scotty.
Scotty Bannon there joining us ringside. He's heading back to the dressing rooms, Hammer, as we go to the towers at the end of the fourth and final round. How do you see it? Paul Lee or Mick Nealon, Hammer?
Well, I'll tell you what, Mick Nealon, as I said, at range, he seemed to be just landing those scoring shots, and that's really what can tell the difference. In tight, it's very hard. It depends what angle the judges are sitting on, but at range, it really leaves no doubt. If you land a clean front kick or you land a big right hand and then a left hook behind it, the judges usually see that from wherever they're sitting. In tight, the scoring becomes a little harder. But at range, I think Nealon really had the wood on Paul Lee, unfortunately, but take nothing away from Paul Lee. He was tough. He kept pushing, looking for an opening there on Michael Nealon, but his job was made very, very hard because Nealon was, as I said, he is so experienced and picked the gaps. But this one's still a fairly close one. Nealon doing well on my scorecard, but we'll take it to the judges.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a point split decision. Judge Terry Clay scores it 40-36. Judge Matt Tyne scores it 40-39. And Judge Mark Corrie scores it 38-39 for your winner. Out of the blue corner, Mick Nealon.
Oh, well, there you have it on the very tightest of margins. It is 2-0 to New South Wales.